Good afternoon. I hope that you'll indulge me for about 4 minutes while I shake the table just a little bit. I want to talk about Lucy Letby, the white woman who has just been convicted of killing 7 babies. Now, we know that she's probably killed way more babies. They just couldn't track it to her at that time. And she definitely harmed a lot of babies that she didn't manage to kill in that time frame. And also big up Dr. Ravi, the consultant, the pediatrician of South Asian descent, who raised the alarm that, oh, we've got a killer in our midst. It's funny because when he raised that alarm along with, I think, 2 other consultants or 2 other doctors, he was told by hospital management that they shouldn't be so mean to Lucy Letby, Nurse Lucy. Shouldn't be mean to her. In fact, it got to the point where when they'd lodged a complaint about all of this, they were then told to apologize to Lucy for making her cry and essentially bullying her, even though the data was there to support the fact that it's always you that's on shift when babies die. You. Now we need to look at the way, because I'm not even here to talk about that per se. I'm here to talk about the way that news platforms keep presenting Lucy. They keep scratching their heads or appearing to scratch their heads that, oh my God, how could somebody who looks like this be a baby killer? First of all, I don't know what you're saying that she looks like. But anyway, you're trying to tell me that this apparently attractive white woman who looks like an angel, why would she do such? How could she do such? And they're presenting it as if this is an anomaly. I had to get my words there. They're presenting it like an anomaly when actually, when we look at it historically and presently, the violence of white women is not an anomaly. It is the standard, right? Wheel it up, selector. Let's go to 1564 when Queen Elizabeth I, she was the first British monarch that I know of to have gone, yeah, here's one of my ships, like a royal ship. You go out there and you go and enslave some Africans. After her came James I, then Charles I, and then there was like this brief stint where Britain was a republic. They'll be going back to that and permanently. Then after that, Charles II came, and that's when he was like, oh, chartered ships, let's go, like, let's do this. And yeah, I bring that up because one of the greatest crimes against humanity was the transatlantic slave trade and colonization. And it was a white female monarch in Britain, if we're talking about this in the British context, that said, yes, let's run it, right? Then we go to the plantations. It's presented to us whenever these, films and series are made that white women were just, so sad that they had to be in the heat and, be on these plantations, and they were so lonely and they didn't want to be part of all of this depravity that was going on. False, because when you look at the documentation that managed to be salvaged, when you look at the accounts by those who were enslaved that managed to be able to share what they experienced, the nasty, evil things that white female plantation owners did, wow. We move on from that. We look at the things that happened around the civil rights era and segregation and things like that. Like, white women are not separate from the evil of white supremacy. White womanhood, in fact, I'll push it further. White womanhood was constructed for the sake of white supremacist heteropatriarchy, in order that white supremacist heteropatriarchy and those who ascribe to it would have something to fight for. If you present white women under this myth and falsehood of purity and innocence, it then means that you can create an other, a shadow self that needs to fight in order to protect them. And so when women like Lucy Letby, and then there was that white girl who went to Oxford University. She stabbed her boyfriend with a knife, and she stabbed him in the leg with a knife and then a shard of glass, I believe. And then the judge, Ian something, said that he wouldn't give her a prison sentence because he didn't want to ruin her life. So, but I want to know if he's ever said that to any black girl or any black person that's come into his court. I would really love to know. Anyway, I say all of this to say that the only way that white women are going to know goodness and happiness in this life is if they divest from white supremacist heteropatriarchy, and thus they stop playing innocent and confused about how white feminine purity, or the myth of it, serves them. Some people will say, but isn't that why feminism was created, or white feminism, isn't that why it was created? And I challenge you to think about the fact that white feminism wasn't created for the equality of all. I believe that white feminism was a mode or a vehicle for white women who weren't too fussed about white supremacy. They just wanted equal footing with white men as they oppressed everybody else. Lucy Letby is not an anomaly. She is the standard. Even if you're working in an environment where, yeah, we're not saying that every white woman is going around killing people, but the same system and construct that protected her, even when people were raising the alarm that, oh, this woman is dangerous, the same construct that protects her is the same construct that protects white women in the workplace when a grievance is raised against them because they're doing something wildly racist, very, 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 very underhanded, and they cry, and HR will say the person that raised the grievance, who is not white, that they are the person at fault. Divest. If you want to know happiness and goodness, divest from white supremacist heteropatriarchy, and that will mean giving up all of the privileges and all of the perceived protections of white feminine purity, because you're not protected at all.